Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to part 3 of episode 26 of Improv Gaming.
I really don't know what he's doing back there. I'm kind of afraid.
I'm the biggest Zelda fan in the world, Jeremy Bird. You know me, you love me. I got the tattoo of the Triforce on my arm right there. Coming at you once again. Where the fuck did Pete go? Oh, well, anyway, we'll get him later. To my far right, I have the best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
Mr. Nicholas De Jesus.
How's it going tonight, everybody?
And we got this little brat right here.
It needs me for support, apparently.
Miss Reed Anderson, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi. I knew that was
I fucking hate when he does that.
I fucking knew that shit was coming.
So today, we are...
PC, bro! PC, bro!
Woo woo! So today, last episode, we talked about the future of gaming. This time, we're talking about a rumor that I kind of heard, which was that consoles are going to become obsolete after this generation. Do we agree or disagree? Anyone want to start it up?
I have a very strong opinion about this. So I don't know if I should start. Because like Metal Gear Solid, I might not stop.
I respectfully defer to that.
Alright, I'll start.
I can start if you want.
If you'd like to.
Alright, very simple.
Start.
No! No! Console, thank you, Danny Bryan. No! Consoles are not going to go away. No way. They may change, they may evolve, they may look different. They're not going to become obsolete after this generation.
My issue is that if you're saying that consoles are going to become obsolete, then there's got to be a medium for you to play video games on, right? So let's say consoles become obsolete. There's 2 mediums left for people to play video games on.
PC.
It's going to be the PC and mobile, right? Now, mobile is nowhere near ready to support the kind of games that we play on consoles.
No way.
PC is. But the problem with PC, and this is history repeating itself, is that if you do not have a certain hardware setup, you cannot play certain games. So a new World of Warcraft comes out, and suddenly your PC that you have in your house that you've had for the past 3 or 4 years is incompatible.
Witcher had that problem.
Witcher, yes. So
Arkham Knight had the problem.
I think GTA 5 had that problem too, didn't it? All the new games always... The developers always want to push the boundaries of what the technology is able to handle. And that's rightfully so because they're trying to make better and better games each and every step of the way. That's what their job is to become better at it. So unfortunately for us on the user end experience is that when we play a game on a PC or if we're going to play a game on a PC, sometimes our hardware doesn't match up to what the developers spec their game for. And the problem therein lies, are you going to spend $350 to play one game for 6 months?
Well, him and I did drop $100 each to play Arkham Knight, but that's besides the story.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
Like
get
every
it.
single time a new game comes out or a new iteration, or let's say that the games come out in generations, right? You've got your fall, your fall, your winter, your summer, and your spring lineups. Your spring and summer lineups.
Did you mean seasonal, not generational?
We'll say seasonal.
You said
But
generational. I'm like, dude, that's like 10 years.
I mean generational in the sense that you have a generation of games that's going to require new hardware.
Oh, you're right.
You get what
That's
I'm saying?
right. I'm sorry, that's I misunderstood.
Like that's what I mean is that now it's going to require the next generation of hardware for you to play the game. And as the theory goes, I believe it's every 6 months there's going to be better hardware out there.
Yeah.
I believe that's how the theory goes.
Yeah.
Is every 6 months the hardware is going to be vastly outperformed by what's new and top of the line. Now, in order for you to play games continuously, let's say for 2 years, you would have to get top of the line every 2 years, which could cost you far more than a grand every 2 years.
Yeah.
So the problem with somebody saying, oh, consoles are going to become obsolete is that if you're going to say that, you can't just say consoles are going to become obsolete. You have to give me a basis for why consoles are going to be obsolete. And I think their mentality is cloud computing, that cloud computing will be able to process all this information and direct it to your television or to your PC or whatever it might be. And then the problem becomes 150 million people. Because right now, there's something like I think 86 million people that play online, something like that. It's around that number, and your stipulation is that if there's no more consoles around, you're going to be able to grow the bases. You're going to be able to grow the base and have new people playing video games that didn't play it before because they can't afford consoles. But you're going off of the presumption that these people can afford PCs as well. And then you're going to go off the presumption that they're going to want to sit around waiting for a 30-minute buffer for a game every time they load it. So you want to expand the base to 150 million people from 86, and then you want to tell me that somehow the FiOS network is going to be able to support that worldwide. I told you, once I start, I'm not going to stop. I gave you motherfuckers fair warning. I'm of a very strong opinion that whoever...
We've learned this lesson.
I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he was at some kind of an event, and he said this. And I'm of the strong opinion that he doesn't necessarily understand exactly why it is that console games are more appealing than PC games, because PC has always been able to outperform console. That's always been the case.
That's a really good point, actually.
PC has always been able to outperform console. It's always been the case because the hardware out there that you need to build a better graphics card is out there. So you can build a better graphics card. PlayStation 4 came out 2 years ago? About?
20.
Right? The hardware that's out now can already beat the PlayStation 4's hardware. So if you're going to tell me that PC gaming is going to be the wave of the future, why isn't it the wave of now?
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening. I don't see them being able to utilize this cloud computing so well. Because I don't know what his premise is, but I can only imagine that it's cloud computing and you're just using your television or whatever it is as a node to access the cloud computing. Because that's the only way I could foresee them making it so cheap that anybody could get it.
Yeah. Because
again, graphics cards and stuff like that, it's all going to cost money for upgrades. So cloud computing would be the only thing. And then subscription services to the cloud computing that you want. So
there's fucking subscriptions for everything, and that starts...
There's subscriptions for everything. So I cannot imagine that console gaming is going to go by the wayside, because console gaming provides an easy access point for people that are not technically savvy, that can't build their own computers, that don't know what the specs read on a hardware box in order for them to get the nice specs that they need in order to play this game. It provides a baseline that all developers have to abide by, so that then people can enjoy the content that the developers have to offer.
I thought he was gonna smack me in the face. But yeah, I like the point you're bringing up. But the thing about cloud computing, here's the best example I can say about cloud computing for like the last episode was, him and I can vouch for this, the WWE network. You remember when it came out? That thing was fucking slow as shit, and it took forever. Literally.
Rebuffering.
Yeah, when WWE came out, they launched their network, and literally you could get exclusive content. You get every pay-per-view in history for $10 a month. I tried to watch one pay-per-view I've wanted to watch for a long time. It took me 4 or 5 times within the first 24, 40 hours just to get that thing to like go. It would show like the little intro for it, and then it would just buffer. Just freeze up, buffer. I couldn't get the damn thing working. My friend bitched, moaned, and complained. And about a week later, they finally worked some of the bugs out of it so everything can work. I think they upped their bandwidth to I don't know how much, but I get what you're saying. Like with the whole, like, you're going to need a lot of bandwidth to move to this. And also, did you ever notice how, like, you go back a couple years and the fastest, most technology advanced PC was, like, huge. Like, the tower was, like, this tall and everything. Now everything's done on fucking laptops. Like, you have, like, the new MacBook Air or whatever the new PC, bro. Anyway, the new PC laptop, and they're like this big. And
yeah, but I can't see those being gaming platforms.
Nah.
I can't see a laptop being a gaming platform. Not when Mac put out the Mac the Mac Pro, the Mac G4 Pro, which has a 16 core processor.
Wow.
Which is unheard of. So that is what I would imagine PC gaming being, is them, again, pushing the boundaries and trying to make things look better and better and better, and forcing you to get better and better hardware and software in order to be compatible with their game.
Yeah.
That's what I see it because developers look. I'm not knocking developers. All right, developers.
Without developers, we have nothing.
No, it's not even that. It's
Yeah.
I'm not knocking developers because when I say this, I don't want anybody to think that I'm knocking developers. I completely understand why it is that developers like this, but developers do not give a shit about the consumer. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
What they care about, because they're developers, is trying to make the most technically advanced game possible. So, for the most part, developers don't care about what the consumer wants. They're just trying to push the boundaries of what they're able to accomplish when it comes to creating a video game. So when you see Metal Gear Solid go open world, that's the developers going, we're fucking doing it. I don't care. I don't care. Because I could imagine that Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pains might have been something that they wanted to push onto the PlayStation 3. I could imagine that because Metal Gear 4 was at the beginning of the PlayStation 3's life cycle. So I could imagine that Metal Gear 5, they wanted to push it on the PlayStation 3, but the developers were like, no, that's not going to happen because we're going open world. So go fuck yourself. So we're going to have to wait for the next generation. And they were like, you know what? It might be worth it to wait if they're going to go open world with Metal Gear Solid because that was enough of a push. Then you've got the cloud computing aspect where the enemy learns from what it is that you're doing and they adapt to your techniques in the game. And a lot of games are doing this where they're using the AI isn't actually on the console. The AI is a cloud computed device that they use in order to combat you. And that's been working. And I think that's why they're saying cloud computing is the way to go when it comes to annihilating the console. But you're taking a fraction of the game away from the game in order to compute logistics and trajectories and stuff like that. It's a fraction of the game. You got to take processing, the graphics, the interface. You got to no lag at all because if you're gonna do this, then my game better not skip. You know, I better not get a pause in there, especially if I'm playing something like Call of Duty, which has a bunch of variables depending on what weapons you're holding, what weapons he's holding, how many times that guy's prestige, how many times that guy's died. There's a lot of variables involved.
How many times that guy's fucked your mom on the internet?
Yeah, how many times that 9-year-old has had sex with your mother. Like, there's a lot of variables that are gonna play into making a console obsolete.
What do you think, Pete?
I don't know. I'm talking. I told you.
Well, we just hit the 13-minute mark, and 12 of those minutes when they're talking.
I told you. If I start, I'm not gonna stop.
We would be lying if we said that there weren't plans for a PS5 right now. Going off of what the PS4 is, there is somewhere either in development or close to developing ideas for the PS5. There's also...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I did not interrupt.
No, you did not.
Same thing if the Xbox doesn't come or it does, you know they might be planning their future. Nintendo's already planning with the NX. The thing that gets me is... consoles, there will always be consoles. Because, yeah, there's the PC. But let me break it down for you. Witcher came out this year. My game of the year at the moment.
Good luck.
By far. And it's a beautiful game. It's a gorgeous, beautiful game. Great gameplay, everything. And then, compared to the PC, you know, it's still on its own good looking. But for the PC, bro. It's got the fur, and you can see the fur a little bit more, which is cool. But to get that fur, you have to spend X amount of money. When you buy a PlayStation, you buy an Xbox, you buy a Wii U, you get that for whatever the retail price is. Either it be $300, $400, $500. PC, you always have to keep advancing. And for the PC, is it really worth it that much to have that little bit more detail on a griffin with its fur coming out when it just looks just as nice when the sun sets in Witcher on the PS4? You know? It's going to end up coming to... PC is a fantastic but a very costly investment. If you're a PC player, you're going to be spending money.
Yeah.
Every year or every other year to run the better games. And with the games coming out lately, you always need to start upgrading. Whether it be Witcher and then Metal Gear Solid, coming up to being Uncharted, just as argument's sake, Uncharted 4 if that was for PC, you know. Just Cause looks amazing, you know. All these games for the PC, bro. It's gonna take money, and with the subscriptions and everything, when the consoles are one flat fee, you have them, and you have games that increase in graphics. You can't say from the PS3 that the first Uncharted looked the same as the last Uncharted. You know, you can't say that the first Call of Duty looked like the last Call of Duty. You know, each console, you know, they have their graphics capability, and you don't find that towards the end till the end of the console. When it comes to the end of the consoles, you know, that's when they find their strut. That's when games are looking as best as they can, you know. When it comes to, you know, Halo 2 or Halo 3 to come all the way to Halo 4 and the difference in dynamics and the graphics. When it comes from, you know, Galaxy all the way up now to Super Mario Brothers U, you know. I know different consoles.
Super Mario, yeah, you're right.
But just that a little bit of tweak. The Uncharted series.
I disagree. So Galaxy to Super Mario 3D World, because that game just looks beautiful. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Same, but basically same looking box. But it ends up being that you have these worth it experience on the console. So not a lot of gamers are going to be that fixated on the fur of the Griffin in Witcher, the Batman's drizzle off the cape in Arkham Knight. You know, the new Call of Duty gun that shits cotton. They're not going to be looking at that. They want a great experience on a platform that will give them the best experience. Do graphics matter? Of course they do. Everybody likes a pretty looking game. But in the long run, when you're fighting a griffin, you're not going to be saying every time, "Hook those feathers." You'll say it the first time, but after that, you're like, "Oh,
die, motherfucker, die!"
well, it's time to go." And you're there more for the gameplay and the story. And I feel like consoles just deliver that in bountiful modes. Like I said, bringing up the Uncharted, bringing up like the things like Alan Wake and Forza and these experiences that you don't normally see. These Smash Brothers. Smash is not as enjoyable as it is on a console. You can't get that vibe for a PC. Because when you think of Smash Brothers, you think of a group of friends coming around the TV and beating the crap out of each other.
Just knocking the hell out of each other.
You can't have that on.
Yeah, but look at
PC.
my television setup. My television is my computer. So imagine plugging in 4 Bluetooth controllers, and then you can get that. Not to discredit you, because I agree with you, but I mean it's possible.
Yeah,
it is possible to do it. It's not.
Yeah, it's that more feeling of gathering around the console, going, okay, well now we're gonna play Mario Kart. Now we're gonna do this. Now we're gonna do this.
Mario Party. Holy shit.
Mario Party. What's you know?
Oh, it's 10. Boo.
It's that aspect of where a console is going to be after this generation. I still think just as strong. There's no sign of them slowing down. PlayStation and Xbox One has already almost outsold what they did in the previous generation. There's no sign of consoles slowing down. It's on the rise because each time, as our generation grows, more gamers come involved. Remember when we were younger, Nintendo was around us and everything like that, and the adults were like, "Oh, why are you playing that?" People
why
our
are you playing
age,
that damn Mario?
now people our age are saying, "Oh, the new console's coming out," and there's that
True.
new age of when we were young, growing up with the NES, saying, "Oh, the PS4 just came out, I gotta play it," and it keeps revitalizing that system. And with how they are with multimedia, it's absolutely fantastic. I don't see the consoles going anywhere. I think they can handle themselves against the PC, especially when you're talking about that, because the PC is just going to cost you money. And that is my 10 minutes of Nick Talk. Thank you for listening.
I think Pete brought up a good point in that when you were talking about how in every generation of console, the beginning games don't always look as good as the last games. And I think the reason that they get so much better is because this console has the same hardware, and it's always going to have the same hardware. So now developers have to struggle with the idea of how can we make the graphics look better with the same hardware. And
it's also time with the console.
It forces them to work with the console and to understand how to manipulate the coding so that then they can get better graphics while providing better gameplay, just giving you a better package altogether. You know, what was it? I think it was Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2, which were both Xbox 360 games, right? Vast improvement.
Oh yeah.
Huge improvement between the two games, right? And one of the tricks that I've seen that they use is that they make the character smaller, or they pull the camera back a little bit. I've seen that. So in Assassin's Creed 1, you were like pretty right up against fucking Altair's ass, practically. You were practically right up across his shoulder.
You were
a lot
his
like,
hidden blade.
Yeah, as like kind of like Gears of War, where you're right over their shoulder.
Yeah.
Like you were pretty much that close to Altair. Whereas in Assassin's Creed 2, they pulled back a little bit for Ezio, and he became Ezio, and he became a little bit smaller. And he became a little bit smaller, but then you had the hook blade. You had increased dynamics that you could play with. You know, the smoke bombs and the double blades. You know, like they increased the dynamics of what you could do by just shrinking something and making it look better. Because, as we all know, or at least as I know, and a lot of people that are creative and that mess around with pixels and stuff like that and polygons, no, when you shrink something, it looks crisper. It looks better when you shrink it. And I've seen that trick used a couple of times. Devil May Cry to Devil May Cry 3. You saw him shrink. You see a lot of characters that shrink because in the first iteration of the game they're just kind of playing around with what they can do.
Learning.
And then they learn more. And then
that's the same thing with Uncharted. You know, Naughty Dog put out Uncharted. They said they need a game. It was one of the launch games. They were just using the PS3 just as a starter. And as it went, you saw with Uncharted 2 and then taking their time and they're learning the system, they're able to encode and do different things and draw the camera back and put detail where most notably wouldn't be seeing detail.
I agree with both of you. Here's a quick thing, because I think we're running this a little long. But what I love about the whole thing you're saying, you said PC costs you money and everything. My friend looked at the specs for Arkham Knight. He took it to his local wherever he takes it, and he goes, "Here's the specs. What do I have to do to up my computer to play this game?" He dropped a decent chunk of change to get the processor and graphics card and all that shit. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at him and I'm like, "How much did you spend?" He goes, "I spent a decent amount. Was it more than $400? Why? Just buy the fucking console if you want to play the goddamn game. Because for Arkham Knight, you can't get all the exclusive background downloads and stuff like that for PC.
Yeah.
They left them out. So he was pissed about that, but I'm like, well, should have bought the damn console. But quickly, I personally feel that consoles are not going to go away after this generation. They're not going to become obsolete. They're going to stick around forever. Our grandkids' are going to be playing on consoles. They might be this big, and you may be able to walk around with them, but
we'll say in 60 years. I remember when I started playing Mario.
Well, I could see eventually consoles becoming obsolete. Yeah. I could see that eventually happening. But the
next
technology...
generation? No way.
Not next generation. I can see that eventually happening, but the technology to provide gaming to a PC or a television is going to have to vastly improve. In order to get the game to me, the technology is going to have to vastly improve. And I don't think communications technology is anywhere near as close to get the information to me and 100 million other people like that. And God forbid it blows up beyond 100 million people and everybody on the planet is playing video games. It's 6.5 billion people playing video games.
That's a lot of bandwidth.
That's a lot of bandwidth. That's a lot of bandwidth. That's a electromagnetic shitstorm.
I think my final comment on this would be, as I lose it, my brain. Keep talking. I lost
7.
It. I lost it.
You lost it?
If you didn't know.
Oh, fuck, what was I
really?
gonna say?
Shit.
I'm so mad.
Train derailed.
Son of a bitch.
PC, bro.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. PC, bro. No, go.
Go.
No, I remember now. A lot of times how I relate to game is like the movies. Now hold on with me on this. Movies came out around 1920s. They started 1930s, around there. and they started slow. No sound, no music, no nothing. Well,
You say no picture, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
no dialogue, no volume, no nothing to be heard. And as it goes on, it slowly increases until we come up to today, which has, Avengers.
No, but I can watch a movie on my phone.
No, but not even that aspect. It's the movies of Avengers where you can do these crazy explosions and have 15 billion things on screen at once.
And not having to clean up the mess after you blow up a prop. Now it's all green screen and CG.
And now you look at gaming, which is, right now, if you think about it, gaming is very young. It's only 30 years old.
Yeah.
So if you put that into movie time, you're looking at the 1950s, 1960s. And so I don't think gaming's going to go away for a while. I just think it's going to be like the movies, where little by little, you're going to keep getting better and better until it's at that par where you're like, oh man, I can't wait for the new, Uncharted 16 to come out. I can't wait for this because, oh my God, now you wear a Master Chief's helmet and you are, and it has that immersiveness. Gaming is very young. And like I said, with movies...
Forza 47, alright.
You just see an upwards climb with movies. It started from silent movies, that's what I was looking for, silent movies, all the way to these big budget, multi-billion-dollar movies to make. And now you're looking at games where, still very young, we started with Pong. Just two little lines and a ball that just went back and forth.
And you used to use a wheel to play it.
And you use
Palm pedals, yeah.
And now we come up to Halo 5 Guardians, where the Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain open world, where a car could be halfway across the map and then finally come up to you, and your whole mission can be squat. That is unbelievable to think about 30 years ago. And like movies, 30 years ago, you didn't think about having Avengers and that
Avengers
escalation of things. So I don't think gaming is going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
I have a proposition. Do you think that gaming will overtake the movie industry?
Ooh.
Meaning what?
Meaning
as popularity, like more people want.
No. I mean, like in the future, do you think that instead of movies, people will be going and playing video games instead?
That could be pretty cool.
I think so. Just because of the fact that I said earlier.
Like they won't. Like movies will be non-existent. Like you'll still have DVDs, but
I still think there will be movies. I just think the roles might be reversed. It might be instead where we're playing video games all the time, well, us in our industry, then somebody will be like, hey, you want to check out a movie? Where it tends to be more saying, let's check out a movie. I think that games are going to get so good, and especially with our generation, that it's going to be the big thing. Yeah, we'll have movies, but it will be a side thing. Like, when people are with their girls or when they're with their friends, it's like, oh, let's check out the new Avengers movie, Oh, okay, and then we'll come back and do Mario Kart. It will instead be, yo, let's do Mario Kart, and now, oh, the movie's playing? All right, we can go see it, It won't be as predominant. I think the movies is a lot of elderly and older people who are going to see a good movie. I think movies will still be prevalent, but I think that gaming, if not, will definitely be at the same par, but be as a big thing as movies are today.
Because I could see video games becoming your next date. Here, put this on. Let's go to Hawaii.
Put this on. Let's fuck.
I could see things like that happening.
Sexual simulator.
Where you and your girl are hanging out and you're like, hey, did you wanna check out that new simulation that they put out?
Yeah.
We can
Paris,
go.
France.
Yeah, the Paris, France simulation. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. And then you put on your HoloLens, and all of a sudden.
Oh, you guys checking out Paris, France? Can I come on? Yeah.
No, the third wheel, bro.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it will have that immersive feeling, and especially like I said, and I think you agree with me on the video game still being very young in cycle.
Yeah.
It's just you don't know what the future can be. And maybe in 50 years, we won't have consoles. We'll have virtual reality to the point of where it is absolutely perfect. you know. But it ends up being that I definitely think that when you ask me, game will definitely be a pinnacle thing in the future, with it standing against movies or whatever the case may be. You know, it will be even if you're like, hey, let's put on the virtual reality and be like we're going to the movies and just pop in a DVD and pretend you're at the movies. That's what you could also see too. Oh, we're sitting on our couch but it looks like we're in a big theater, big surround sounds. Oh look, they re-released Wizard of Oz. Let's watch that on the big screen. You'll have that big screen experience. I feel like we've been talking for a while. This has been quite a topic to.
Yeah, it's a really good, interesting topic. I'm glad. I gotta find out what's this guy's name because I want to thank him for being such a jackass.
Pat Hatcher.
Pat Hatcher.
Yep.
So yeah, Pat Hatcher. Was that the guy that wrote the article or the guy that said the statement?
I think this guy wrote the article.
No, we're looking for the guy that actually said the statement.
As they're both on their phones. What's up, guys? I'm still.
We'll start to close this out, kid. It's your.
Michael
show.
Patcher.
Michael Patcher. Whoops.
Michael Patcher.
I got it backwards.
So yeah, Michael Patcher. It was Michael Patcher that said it, and just so that then everybody's aware, right? They say, this is what he says. He says, oh,
it's that weird thing that it does.
yeah, that little weird pop-up thing that it does.
And you're reading about how many people would play GTA. That one. Ooh, weird looking face. Talking about this quote right there?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about, this is the last real console cycle. I don't mean that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo will go bankrupt and shut down. They will not. Each of them will make another console. Some people may buy them, and the next console cycle will be to this console cycle what the 3DS is to the DS. The 3DS is selling about 15 million units a year. The DS has 5 consecutive years where it sold more than 26 million. So about half as big. So when I say that this console cycle is the last console cycle, the reason is that the console games shouldn't require a console. So his whole point, it seems, is like he's going to this idea that there's going to be a lot of cloud computing.
Yep.
And then he says, how many people would play Grand Theft Auto if it wasn't on a console? And he says 100 million people would probably play it, or 100 million more people would probably play it than what are playing it now. And I can't see that. I can't fathom it. But I mean, I'm trying.
That's why we're right and he's wrong.
Well, I'm not gonna say that he's wrong. I say that he's trying to push the boundaries a little bit too far. He's anticipating something that's going to happen a little bit longer down the road. It's not going to be the next console cycle. There's
some time.
There's a lot more time than what this guy is making it out to be.
Yeah.
So I would say Michael Patcher's a little early on his judgment, but it will happen. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's going to be the next console cycle or the console cycle after it. I don't think that.
No way. Anyone hear something? Little bit of.
I hear some jazz.
Yeah, a little bit of jazz.
I hear some jazz.
Jazz flute.
Be sure to subscribe to us at youtube.com/Improv Gaming. You can also like the video right below. It's the thumbs up, not the thumbs down. Please use the thumbs up.
You're a douche if you hit the thumbs down.
And check us out on our Facebook page at Improv Gaming, space between the two words. Check us out on Instagram or Twitter. It's improv_gaming. And you can check each of us individually out on Twitter. Profcott, at Profcott. You're at Improv Pete, and that's at Jimmy Poison 450. And you can also check each of us out individually on Twitch at Improv Cot, Improv Pete, and IPG Jaybird. And as always,
Improv Cap.
what did I say?
Improv Pete.
Did I say Improv Pete? Damn it, that was so smooth. Too.
It was. I was
It really
so
was.
happy.
And if you guys want to get the latest news from us, hit the notification button on YouTube. And you can always see when our videos are published. I like that whole thing.
Thank you guys for watching.
And as always, game on.
Smith, and it's like regeneration of Dr. 11, and it looks like he's in pain. I was like, I can't look at this because I'm like gonna think other things. What's doing it?